All right, deep divers, welcome back. We are headed to the North Woods today, Hayes Lake State Park. In Minnesota, we got articles, videos, even some firsthand accounts, and wow, it's incredible.
It's interesting what they've done with Hayes Lake, you know, untouched wilderness,
Yeah.
but then all these great recreation opportunities.
Yeah, so let's set the scene. Hayes Lake State Park. It's tucked away in Roseau County.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much as north as you can go in Minnesota before you hit Canada.
Right.
30 miles from the border, surrounded by vast wildlands. Not a lot of people around.
No.
But here's the thing. The lake itself, it's man-made.
Yeah, it is. It was created late 1960s, I believe, by damming the North Fork of the Roseau River. So it really is, a sign of humans touching this otherwise untouched landscape.
Yeah. And speaking of the Roseau River, it flows north.
It does.
It's unusual. Yeah. Defying gravity.
It's a legacy of glacial Lake Agassiz. So that was this massive prehistoric lake that covered a huge chunk of North America. And as it receded thousands of years ago, it kind of carved out this landscape we see today. And that includes that unique northward flow of the Roseau River.
Wow. Talk about a history lesson. So we've got this man-made lake in a landscape shaped by ancient glaciers. We're going to add one more layer to it. Wildlife. The sources mention a ton of different animals in the park.
Yeah, it seems like every visitor sees something different too. I mean, you've got moose sandfisher, black bears, wolves, bobcats, lynx.
Wow.
And that's not even the smaller animals. We're talking like beaver and otter and porcupines and deer. Really quite a variety.
Yeah.
And I think that's really because of that diverse landscape. You know, you go from farmland to true wilderness, so you get that mosaic of habitats that can support all these different creatures.
That's like stepping right into a nature documentary.
Exactly.
But we can't forget about the birds.
No.
Any feathered friends worth mentioning?
Oh, yeah. Over 200 bird species have been spotted at Hayes Lake State Park. So if you're a bird watcher, this is paradise. Loons, herons, grebes. You might even see the rare Connecticut warbler.
Okay, I gotta ask. I'm a sucker for wildflowers. What about that?
You're in luck because the park is known for beautiful displays of wildflowers, especially in the summer. Imagine hiking through fields of orchids and gentians.
Oh, wow.
And even wild blueberries.
Oh, nice. So I can eat them.
Yes, but just the blueberries, please. We need to leave the flowers for others to enjoy.
Right, of course. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm picturing this right now. Tall pines reflecting in the still water of the lake. Wildflowers blooming. Maybe even a moose just waiting along the shoreline. Sounds like a photographer's dream.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Speaking of dreams,
Yeah.
we can't forget about the human history that's woven into this landscape. I mean, the first homestead was established in the early 1900s by Alva Hendershot.
Alva Hendershot. Wow, that's a name.
It is.
Sounds like right out of a pioneer novel or something.
It does. Visitors today can still see the family graves and remnants of the original homestead along a trail. It's kind of a reminder of, the people who came before and their connection to this land.
So we've got natural wonders, human stories, all coming together in this one place. But I have a feeling you're going to tell me that Hayes Lake State Park is also a recreational haven.
You're right. It is. Hayes Lake State Park really does have something for everyone, no matter your skill level or what you're interested in. If you like hiking, there are 13 miles of trails, ranging from, easy strolls to more challenging treks.
Okay, give me the highlights. What trails should I add to my must-hike list?
Well, if you're up for a challenge, the Pine Ridge Trail, that's part of Minnesota's hiking club trails, it will definitely test your endurance. And then for something a little more unique, the Hayes Lake Loop.
Okay.
That's an 8.3-mile trail that actually requires you to cross a river.
Wait, cross a river.
Yeah.
Like I'm wading through the water.
You got it. Be prepared to get your feet wet, maybe encounter a few slippery rocks.
I love that. That's not your average walk in the park.
Right.
So for someone looking for a more laid-back experience, what would you recommend?
The Homestead Interpretive Trail. That's a good one. It's shorter and it takes you past those remnants of Alva Hendershot's homestead.
Oh, cool.
So you get that little bit of history. And if you want a little bit of elevation, the River Tower Trail, that one climbs up to a scenic overlook. So you get some beautiful views.
All right, so we've got hiking covered. What about other ways to explore the park? On land?
Well, if you're into horseback riding, they have trails designated just for that.
Yeah.
And if mountain biking's your thing, 5 miles of trails winding through the woods. And of course, in the winter, those trails turn into a winter wonderland, perfect for snowmobiling.
They really do cater to a lot of different interests there, huh?
They too.
What about the lake itself? You mentioned it was created for recreation. What kind of water activities can people do?
Hayes Lake is perfect for, a peaceful paddle, so canoeing, kayaking. You can even rent a boat.
Wait, rent a boat?
Yeah.
I thought I read somewhere that boat rentals weren't available this year.
You know what? You are absolutely right. I must have been thinking about a different park. So bring your own vessel if you want to enjoy the lake from the water.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
So even without boat rentals,
Yeah.
it sounds like there's plenty to do on the water. What about fishing? Any good fishing spots?
Oh, yeah. Hayes Lake is a haven for anglers. You can find northern pike, largemouth bass, crappie, sunfish, perch, all kinds of things. And if you prefer to stay put instead of, taking a boat out, they even have a fishing pier.
Oh, nice. Okay, so we've got hiking, biking, paddling, fishing. What about if I want to spend the night? Any camping options?
Of course. They have a campground with a variety of sites to suit different preferences. So if you want a more secluded experience, you can go for a walk-in site.
Oh, okay.
If you want a little more comfort, you can try one of their camper cabins. Or if you need electricity, they have sites with electric hookups too.
So you can rough it, or you can enjoy the comforts of electricity. Sounds like they've thought of everything.
It seems that way. And I think it really shows their commitment to making the park accessible to all different kinds of visitors.
Right.
They want everyone to experience the beauty and tranquility of Hayes Lake.
It's amazing how they've created this space where you can really feel like you're immersed in nature, but still have those amenities that make it enjoyable for so many different people.
Exactly. And it's evident in some of the choices they've made, like restricting gas-powered motors on the lake.
Right.
So that prioritizes a quieter, more serene experience from, the paddlers.
Yeah.
And it helps preserve the natural soundscape of the park.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, hey, if you want to come to Hayes Lake,
Yeah.
you got to be prepared to slow down, unplug, and really connect with nature, on its own terms.
Exactly. You're not going to find, jet skis or loud parties on the shore. Instead, you'll hear, the gentle lapping of waves against canoes, the calls of loons, maybe even the rustle of leaves as a deer walks by.
So they're really curating the type of visitor they attract by those restrictions. Someone looking for a, crazy water sports adventure, they're probably not going to choose Hayes Lake.
Probably not. This is more for people who want a quieter experience, find joy in observing wildlife, and appreciate the peacefulness of nature.
And don't forget that river crossing on the Hayes Lake Loop.
Right.
That's not something you find at every park. It adds a little challenge, a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, it reminds you that you're, going into a more wild place. That demands a bit more respect and a bit more preparedness.
It's funny. We've talked about the man-made lake, the amenities. But it really seems like nature is still in charge at Hayes Lake.
It does. It's a great example of, finding that balance between preserving and, providing recreation. They've let humans shape the landscape, but in a way that really enhances the natural beauty instead of, taking over completely.
So for you, listener, the question is, what kind of nature experience are you looking for? Do you want that untouched wilderness? Or do you like these places, like Hayes Lake, where humans have kind of stepped in and created this blend of wildness and accessibility?
Now, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just, figuring out what you enjoy can help you find some new places.
And have some new experiences.
And, hey, maybe your next adventure will take you to the shores of Hayes Lake State Park up in northern Minnesota. We hope this deep dive has inspired you to get out there, explore, appreciate all the different ways we can connect with nature. Until next time, happy trails.